Hey everyone, what's going on? Okay, so I've got a little drive ahead of me here, and I wanted to share a story that I think kind of follows in the vein of why we're making videos in the first place. So today is the official first day of MIpet. We've launched the website. You can go there right now. It's MIpetco.com, MIpetco.com. And buy a pet tag. 20% of that purchase will go to one of 5 local Michigan rescues that you get to select from. Anyway, to combine just sort of us documenting this process of starting this business, something that I've been holding kind of dear to me was a story that happened to us back in 2008, and it involves sort of the concept of action, of talking about something is fantastic, ideas are amazing, but as any of you guys know, ideas are that everyone has an idea, everyone talks, and it's very, very infrequent that people do something about it. And I'm not going to say that people are lazy. That's not why. I think it's just daunting. It feels extremely difficult to act on anything. There's no roadmap. There's no directions. There's directions on doing nothing. It's literally do nothing and success. How you get it. So this goes back to 2008, and at this time, I was living in Atlanta. I was working. And I was moving home to start my own design company, which is crazy looking back now, because if you think about it, 2008 is when the housing market collapsed, when essentially people lost their jobs. My dad was one of those people, worked at a place for years and then gets let go because of the economy. And so I'm moving home. The market crash hasn't quite happened yet, but it's on the horizon. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I left Atlanta was the job I had, which was amazing for a while. I'm sitting at my desk one day going, I have nothing to do today. That's crazy. And so all these things led me back home to Michigan, and I'm basically, now I'm home. It's that night, we drive home. Literally, the budget rental truck is in the driveway. I remember it like it was yesterday. And me and my dad and my brother and some of my friends were sitting around just a kind of a makeshift bonfire in the backyard, and we were just talking. And at this time, we had just came back. Like I said, we're driving, and we were listening to the Michigan game. I think it was the first game under Rich Rodriguez, if I remember right. And it was kind of hot garbage situation. They were just, it was bad, and as you know, like, that era didn't really work. So we were kind of venting, we're sort of bitching about it. And at that time, the Lions had just won all their preseason games. Of course they'll win when it doesn't matter, and then when things kind of start counting again, it's like, the real team shows up. And the idea we had was essentially, it was called the 2008 Preseason Champions T-shirt. And so it was kind of a fun thought. Like, we all just laughed about it, kind of went along with our evening, and just went on with our lives. And I remember sitting there, and I was like, this could be something. I don't know what, but I just think it's something funny. So I had this idea of making a T-shirt that resembled something that you would get when you win the Super Bowl. And I talked to my dad about it, and we went and printed a couple. And my thought is essentially, what's the worst that could happen? I print some T-shirts up, no one buys them, and we lose a couple $100. And so at that time, we made the shirt, and fast forward 3 months, we sold 10,000 T-shirts. 10,000 T-shirts. It was crazy. Every day, we're getting orders just constant. I remember my dad at the time, who hadn't lost his job yet, actually to take time off work, take some vacation time. It really fueled me until I could get my design company going, and it was just amazing. And to top it off, at the end of all this, kind of towards the tail end of sort of this run, we get asked to go on ESPN, not once, not twice, but 3 times in the span of a couple months. And it's insane. It's so crazy to think about to this day how a simple action actually had a result like that. Now, of course, I'm not trying to say that this is typical, but what I am trying to say is that just doing something is extremely important. As a matter of fact, it's the only thing that matters at all. I mean, if you don't do the thing, nothing is going to come from it. And so I remember this often when I'm thinking about just anything, like this idea of MIpet. What can it be? Well, I can tell you what it can't be. And now it can't be something, because it is something, because it exists. It's alive. It's there. And I guess that's kind of the thing I wanted to just sort of document and talk about today, was that story. And to cap this whole conversation, the last thought I'll have is a lot of times people look at either people that are successful or things that are successful and not put them in that position. And what I came to realize was, after we sold these shirts and we're on ESPN, I remember thinking to myself how close you are from that thing. It's not a massive leap. It's not this marathon, life experience that you go through that takes 9,000 years. It can literally be something that is not that far away, and it could be right there. And for us in that moment, that was that thing that got us there. And I'm going to try to do it again. I'm going to spend my life trying to get there again. But it's something I'll never forget, something that I remember every single day. And it's something that I'm going to use as a foundation for MIpet. And we'll kind of see what happens. But anyway, launch day. This is day number 1. And that was the story I wanted to share about just our experience on just doing. So you can follow us on Instagram. We're on Instagram. It's MIpet Company. We're on Twitter, MIpetco. We're on Facebook, MIpet. And, of course, the website, MIpetco.com, MIPETCO.com. I'll see you guys later this week. Bye.